Off the coast of modern Kuwait lies a quiet island. For centuries it rested in the Gulf breeze, but beneath its sands, and beneath the memory of our modern gaze, it held a secret, a temple built nearly 4,000 years ago, a place where power, faith, and trade converged at the edge of the known world. Welcome to Failaka Island. Imagine the Persian Gulf around 1900 BCE. The sea is a highway, not a barrier. From Mesopotamia's great cities, ships loaded with copper, ivory, pearls, gliding down to the Gulf's shores. One island on that route, Failaka. Quiet now, but then it was known. Possibly as a garum in cuneiform texts. Traders, priests, seafarers meeting here. The civilization behind it. Dilmun civilization, once described in Mesopotamian myth as the land of the gods, and in reality, a hub of exchange and meaning. On the island, archaeologists have been excavating tells, or settlement hills. Of particular interest is Tell F6, a mound that hides the remains of structures built when the world was just beginning to connect with trade beyond the rivers. A Kuwaiti-Danish team recently unearthed a remarkable structure, a temple measuring about 11 by 11 meters on Tell F6, dating to roughly 1900–1800 BCE. The building's walls, the layout, they signal more than a simple shrine, and the artifacts, seal impressions, stamp seals of Dilmun type, beads, pottery, all speak of ritual and trade in the same breath. What's compelling? This temple sits next to or atop an earlier sacred footprint. One sacred generation building over another. It's not just a discovery, it's a time-lapse of faith and power. First, architecture and ritual. A temple this size, in this place, reveals that religious life was institutionalized in the Gulf far earlier than many narratives assume. Then, trade and connection. Those seals? Signatures of connection. Failaka wasn't an isolated isle, it plugged into the wider world. Copper from Oman, gemstones from elsewhere, pearls maybe from the depths, it all converged here. And finally, geography and strategy. Failaka lies near the mouth of the Euphrates Delta in antiquity. It overlooked maritime routes. It was a staging point, a node in the network. So what we see is a place of layered meaning, a sacred site, a node of commerce, a conscious decision by elites of the time to locate power at the edge of the sea. And that tells us something, that globalization is not new, that cultural exchange far outdates our modern era. Here's where I want you to lean in. This discovery demands we rethink the margins. What we sometimes call peripheral zones, the Gulf, the Arabian littoral. They weren't afterthoughts. They were central to early civilization. For us today, it's a reminder. The world is interconnected. Empires, trade, faith. They travel across dunes, across seas, and the threads that link us run deeper than we often care to see. Also, heritage matters. As Failaka transforms, tourism, infrastructure, modern development, these ancient layers risk being forgotten or erased. So documenting them, elevating them, sharing them matters. If we forget our interconnected past, we risk losing valuable pieces of history which shaped our present. So there you have it. An island off Kuwait, a temple nearly 4,000 years old, linking trade, power, and faith in a world that looks very different, but also surprisingly familiar. If there's one takeaway, look where the footprints are faint. Because the strongest stories aren't always where we expect them. I want to hear from you. What underrepresented ancient civilization or archaeological site do you think deserves the spotlight next? Drop it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this dive, hit like, subscribe, and let's keep going deeper. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected.